Hey guys, Moses here. I'm back with my third build update. The same guide, it will be my Titan. What you're looking at is some low level maps, it's like a T7 or 8. Very low level, but I actually made a brand new Titan if you watch my other videos in addition to the warbringer, because I didn't want to go back and forth with the ascendancies and spending gold. So I made a fresh character in order to make a more accurate leveling guide and have a more accurate experience as Titan. So the big reason why I'm really making this third update to the video is because the rating guide is pretty much kind of up to date. I included some crafting. I'll talk about crafting an endgame weapon in this video too. But I really want to talk about skill selection, and pretty much what I've settled on is really Earth Shatter, Volcanic Fissure, Forge Hammer. You're going to need a third slam to really trigger the fissures, especially for single target rears and ball scene if you don't have the best gear, because again, I'm in solo self-found, so all of a sudden, like, my convenient mapping with my other character, Stampede, was not one-tapping screens and stuff like that, especially with only a lesser Jeweler's Orb. So I have set on Earth Shatter. It feels really incredible for single target rears and especially bosses, because again, even with bosses, like, I don't want to stampede around for bosses, right? So I did add that other slam. I have tested every single slam, and I'm going to talk about them in depth in a moment. So skills, right? We have Volcanic Fissure. Volcanic Fissure. Right now I'm using Banishing Fissures, a very slow weapon, to show you like how slow this is. I do have another better weapon, but you know, for testing purposes, right, we'll do this. So really, when it comes to Volcanic Fissure, if you're going to use a secondary slam to trigger the fissure, which you should, you really want a skill that's mechanically works with it, right? So things like Earth Shatter, Earthquake, Rolling Slam, Sunder's good too, but methods that actually have innate multiple chances or multiple guaranteed procs for the fissures. So something like Earth Shatter, you have the initial spike is a proc. When you get an aftershock from the initial spike, see, we just get it here. We didn't get it there, just see real quick, but you see not only the spike, but the aftershock triggers it too, and then of course the explosion. So you have 3 triggers from each fissure, which is very, very good. Earthquake is the same way. Earthquake feels really, really good while mapping, but the biggest issue with Earthquake is that you're kind of losing 2 damage supports when you have to utilize less duration, like Swift Affliction and Compressed Duration. And then even if you want to invest in Earthquake, because there is actually methods to, you know, you can reduce the skill effect duration, you can anoint over here, and you can actually, there's this gem here too that can improve, and like the notables and the minors, or the small passive and the notables. So like there's always the options here too, but you know, it's a little bit tough for Earthquake. It has like anti-synergy because you actually like skill effect duration. The longer skill effect duration you have for these fissures, the more you can just focus on proccing the fissures and not having to recast your Volcanic Fissure and Forge Hammer, right? So like that's very, very important. I actually think if you want to use 3 skill points here, I think it's actually a very, very good idea for this type of build, especially for ball scene, right? So Earth Shatter is incredible. Earthquake is pretty good while mapping, but the fact that you're losing damage supports kind of sucks. Next, we'll go to Rolling Slam. Rolling Slam is incredible in the campaign, and even endgame ball scene, I don't think anything really matches it. Rolling Slam has the benefit of actually not losing out any aftershocks, because each Rolling Slam has the potential to have the aftershock, right? So the first slam has the aftershock chance, and the second slam has the aftershock chance as well. So I do want to show you this real quick, why it's so goddamn good. If I can find the gem. There we go. So, right, you have the first slam, and you can have 4 potential triggers from Rolling Slam. Now, the counterpart is that Rolling Slam takes a long time to trigger, and an amount of time that you go Rolling Slam, you can get probably like 3 Earth Shatters or other slams in there. So that's the caveat. But the damage potential on Rolling Slam is absolutely disgusting. Like if I'm just doing a straight ball scene, I would do like a weapon swap and have Rolling Slam, or I would just do Rolling Slam for like a strictly like ball scene map, like, right, because it's really that goddamn good. Really, we have Sunder next up. Sunder is, you know, this is the obvious one. Sunder, you can Sundered armor, right? It has great synergy, but the problem with Sunder is that it feels even slower than Rolling Slam, and the damage potential isn't as good because it doesn't have the innate crit bonus and the guaranteed crit. It does have synergy, it does, but honestly, I think, surprisingly, going into the patch, I thought this was going to be the play. This actually feels like the worst slam to utilize, right? So that's kind of unfortunate, and that's pretty much it. You can use Hammer of the Gods if you don't want to use Stampede for like more single target ball scene, but the thing is with Hammer of the Gods, it's another very slow skill. The Glory does not consume like if you use Hammer of the Gods, doesn't mean you're using that glory for your Ancestral Cry. It does not work that way. So you can use both. I have tested it. It is pretty nice, but it's like, I don't know. I'd rather just use like my primary slam like Earth Shatter to trigger, but you know, you can factor that in if you want. We'll go back here, and then like you do have Supercharged Slam, which I think is an awful idea. But I mean, if you want to use it, you can. You would get massive Fissure procs, but stunning yourself and you know waiting is like kind of unfortunate. It is what it is. Stampede, I'm actually like losing more and more favor with Stampede. I actually even lean more towards Bone Shatter for clear, especially if you have a slower weapon. So I do have this Sacred Maul that's really, really fast, but again, I don't have enough for Giant's Blood here, but it's a pretty damn fast weapon. Using Stampede with a fast weapon, it feels really damn good. A weapon like this, a less than one attack speed, it feels pretty bad. Early on in the game, the problem with Stampede too is that it's very reliant on gear, right? I'm a big fan of Stomping Crown, actually. When you look at 50% of your default attack, it's actually a good amount of damage. Like that's hitting harder than your fissures, or it's very close to your fissure damage for your Volcanic Fissure. So that's just Stomping Ground as a pretty good support. Like you really do need 4 support gens with Stampede and quality to make it feel really good while mapping. And until then, I actually do favor Bone Shatter. Bone Shatter with just your 3 links, your Shockwave, your Ancestral Core, and Armor Break. Again, as a Titan or a Warbringer, you're going to be breaking armor. When you break armor on Shattering Blow and improve break armor percentage, you get really, really insane clear. And the density clear with Bone Shatter is nuts. And the big thing with Bone Shatter is that early on in the game, again, I re-rolled a brand new fresh Titan. I am not reusing any of my really good endgame gear. All this is just the Titan gear, not my Warbringer gear, like Solo Self-Found. You know, you can see level 80, very low, but like, I'm telling you, like Bone Shatter just very, very good for the early mapping, right? So I think that's pretty much it for the skill overview. So let's talk about gear real quick. Gear is very simple. You want a lot of life, a lot of armor on your gear, and then a lot of these nodes, if possible. Armor also applies elemental damage. Don't forget that you don't have to just get 100%. You can go over 100%. You can actually see our armor is more effective against elemental damage than it is for just for physical, which is kind of crazy, right? So again, Solo Self-Found gear is really bad. I actually made another warrior in addition to the Warbringer because I wanted to do more of a leveling guide. So that's that. With really point 3 in Rise of the Abyssal, what we want to really talk about is the weapon, right? So like right here, I reforged or recombined the reduced attributes and the hybrid fizz, and then I got lucky with the flat fizz. So in a situation like this, ideally we would get the node that gives either aftershocks on a suffix or preferably fissures. The fissure node goes up to 31%, 25 to 31. So in combination with Splitting Ground, that's incredible. What that opens up, now you have a 50% chance for fissures. It helps the Earth Shatter, and then it's also going to help even more upheaval. So like you can lose the upheaval support. You can get 40% more damage, the more attack speed. You get less fissure generation, but that's okay because every other attack you're going to be generating extra fissure. Your clear is going to be just fine, right? Plus you get way more damage on Volcanic Fissure because not only are you getting the 40% taken away from this support, but now you get to add another support gem, something like Rage Forge, or really just another damage multiplier, which would be incredible, right? So that's what we want. Now, I actually got to re-roll this one right here twice, and both times it was Aftershock, no fissure. So a little bit unfortunate, but I'm in Solo Self-Found. Like, as you can see, I don't even have enough runes farmed up, right? But something like this, like, you get a weapon either in trade or Solo Self-Found and you're trying to craft it. Any combination, ideally I would get the reduced attributes. You don't need the flat fizz. I'd rather have a big hybrid and a big percentage fizz. That way on a blue, well, it would be hybrid or percentage plus like attributes or attack speed, or any combination of that. And then you can either regal from magic to rare the attack speed, or you can regal from magic to rare the flat fizz. As you can see, this flat fizz is actually, no, it is better than this one. I just got to divine it, right? Hopefully make it better. But let's say you get a weapon that you can work with. This one we can work with, right? Solo Self-Found, like you have limited resources, but what you want to do is that you can, not this one yet, but the next Desecrated Temp only prefixes. Now, normally it would be suffixes, but because I want to try to get the big flat fizz, the big percentage fizz and reduce attack speed to get a big hard-hitting weapon, to make this usable, and for the crafting example, we're going to try to get the prefix, right? Next up, we're going to try to get a Kurgle modifier. That's going to be one that has the flat fizz and the reduced attack speed. Preferably you would get the Amanu, I think it is. Yeah, it's the Amanu, so, or Amamu, whatever. So instead you would you would put this, right click it, and then you would desecrate it, right? So we have this, we're gonna desecrate it. We should desecrate a prefix. We're gonna go here, and I'll fast forward it, maybe not. Let's see, go Well Souls. It's already 3 minutes. I don't want this to be too long, but you know, after, make sure that when you get here, you actually enable the reroll. So when you do desecrate, you do have a chance to get this, right? So we reveal, and we actually did get it, right? So we got the increased fizz and reduced attack speed. So like, this is only an anvil ball. I'd really rather have the sacred or the totemic, the new totemic. So we don't have to reroll. We could just take that. The reduced attack speed is a little bit rough, but you know, it is what it is. Like, if you're in trade, you probably have way better bases to like gamble on and craft, but in solo self-found, like very limited resources. But you see, no quality, and it's already on the high end with very low roll. So I will divine this just as an example and see how high we can get it. I don't have much. I only have 2. So okay, we got a good divine. You see, it went from 551 to 590. So we got way higher on the flat, a little bit higher on the flat, and almost pretty damn high on the percentage, right? So that's that. Now you have a very usable weapon, especially for, let's say, a Giant Split build. Like this one, I can't use Giant Split right now. So if you favor defensives and you have a weapon like this, hey, you may want to use this instead, right? So like, that's how you would craft. I still have open suffix, so I'm not sure what I would do here. I don't think I would use like a perfect essence or something like that. I probably would just exalt and pray, right? Let's see. Accuracy, light radius. So that happens, right? No big deal. And that's like how you would craft a weapon. Okay, guys, so to conclude, you know, decent length video. I did talk about crafting a weapon. I think I showed you this example. I did talk about skill selection. The big thing, like, with the conclusion to the build, well, not the build, but like this video, is that use what you prefer. A lot of guys in the comments, oh, I want to use Leap Sand Bone Shatter. Oh, can I do this? Guys, you can do whatever the fuck you want. This is your game. This is not like, you know, none of us, like, I'm a dad. I don't have a lot of time. Like, I play the game for fun. I have a lot of fun using the skills that I prefer to use. I don't have to really listen to other people, and you shouldn't either. You know, take the tree, take the skill selection, and use that as a template. Like, oh, you know what? I don't really care about war cries. Let me get rid of my war cries. I don't want to attack that slow. Let me get more surround bonus. Let me get more AoE. Let me get more, hey, I want to make a crit build. You could do crit. There's a lot of crit access in a reasonable amount of area of this tree. Like, all this crit, you could do very, very good, very, very good damage with a crit focused build, right? So very, very, very cool. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot that you can do here. Don't just get stuck in the ways. And if you want to look at the passive tree, this is kind of what it looks like now. Rarely like testing it. I'm playing around a lot, but generally this is the core. I might change some like Warcry stuff, might change the Fissure stuff. Not really doing Avatar of Fire right now until I get much better gear and get maybe some other conversion methods, but we'll see. This is pretty much it. I'm very happy with the build on my warbringer. Like I showed you guys, like the T14 plus footage in the other videos. Very, very good damage with much better gear that I'm doing now. Like, again, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to do like a more fresher Titan, so they're like no quality or ruins either. So that's pretty much it. Again, I love when you guys comment. So if you guys leave a comment, have any questions, I will answer every single person. I don't really care about subscribers, so you know, you don't have to. I'm not gonna make you guys feel bad about that. No big deal. I have a full-time job. Don't worry about me. Mozu with Negrot Tech here. I hope you guys have a good one. Again, the mobile analytics guide is pretty updated, so hopefully, if you have any critiques on that, I would love to take it. You know, I could fix it up and make a better written guide too. And that's pretty much it. Have a good one.